All right, we'll call the May 20th Conservation Commission meeting at 7 o'clock at Town Hall. It's a hybrid meeting. And let's open by taking attendance. Let's go around the table, starting with Andy. Andy Reardon.
Dennis Clark.
Norm Cheever. Jerry Patria. Anybody online? Chris Pratt, is it? Okay.
Chris, can you say your name?
Chris Pratt.
Thank you.
So this meeting will be recorded. Let's go to public comments. Is anybody in the audience that would like to speak on anything that's on the agenda? Or not on the agenda?
I don't think that's not on the agenda, I believe. I looked online.
Do we have address for the record, please?
Lyle Rotundo, 10 Grandview.
You are on the agenda. I amended it.
Oh, I am.
Yep, the agenda is, I think the most recent agenda is up there. If
Okay,
you
well,
want to
I
go.
looked online, it wasn't on there.
Yeah, I just changed it today. Sorry. And that's 10 Grandview, you said? So did you want to?
Dick Reynolds here for the hydrilla discussion.
Okay,
Okay,
so those two are on the agenda, so we can wait.
okay. Anybody online other than the hydrilla one, and what else we have there? Okay. So it's not 7:05 yet, so we'll say we do the minutes.
You guys have a copy in your folders. There is a motion and a second, and Jean didn't know who did it, so if you guys can remember, make sure that. Well, you let me know.
Foster Road, somebody else seconded the motion.
What page?
Somebody made a motion and somebody else seconded the motion. I like the way that is. 55 Foster Road.
Was that to approve the extension?
A site visit was scheduled, somebody made a motion, to continue the public hearing. Somebody else seconded the motion.
Yeah, so does anybody remember who did that?
I was not here, so.
Make sure you change that to somebody made a motion to approve a continuation for the public hearing.
We'll have to work at Zoom.
I think Mamet did that, didn't they?
Then that might have moved it and I seconded it.
Yeah, and Jerry seconded it.
That works.
Thank you. Cliff Clarkus requested for his meeting or this meeting locally.
Who has?
Cliff,
Oh, okay,
so allow recording?
yes.
Jean's not with us today.
No, she's not, so
We don't have a secretary,
nope,
so he's taking minutes.
I'm gonna try.
John?
No, not that quick.
I tried. Any other changes to the minutes of the meeting?
Bottom of page 2, the roll call vote goes as follows. There's no roll call vote.
What's that?
Bottom of page 2, it says roll call vote
Was as
goes
follows.
as follows. There's no vote. There's a couple of yeses down there.
And this is
Unanimous.
citizens reporting, so that was everybody, right?
It's unanimous.
Okay, unanimous. Nice.
Yeah.
Now, there are changes on this one. You have it on that one. Okay.
Yeah, I did my edits and then
Okay.
I gave you guys a copy of that.
All right.
This is from the back.
Note for the record that Lucas Karen has joined us at the table. Anybody want to make a motion on the minutes?
If everybody got that, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes
As amended,
as amended.
Seems the one-
you got 55 Foster Road, I don't have that.
I don't have 55 Foster Road in there. That's the meeting minutes signature. So Dennis made the motion to
Any
accept for the
corrections, Sharon?
minutes.
None that I can see, Dennis. I can second that.
Okay,
Minutes as amended.
okay. On the motion, roll call vote, Randy,
Andy Reardon, aye.
Dennis, I,
Norm Cheever abstain, as I was not here.
Jerry, aye.
Chris, how do you vote?
Chris Pratt, aye.
Motion is passed.
Jerry seconded, right?
I think Andy.
right on time.
Okay, first public hearing is 55 Foster Road, and I do not have the legal notice for that.
This was already opened up in the last.
Oh,
meeting.
okay, so it's just continuation.
Yep. And as far as I know, they are asking for a continuation, even though I didn't get anything official from them, so I don't think they're going to be here at the meeting.
We don't have any official, how do we handle that?
Make a motion to accept a continuance.
Is there anyone online representing 55 Foster? I don't believe so, probably not. Okay,
So, good.
just continue it again after we. $75.
It's more than $75. It's an NOI,
Oh, okay.
a little bit more.
What are you thinking? Continue it,
I would say continue.
but make sure you get it in writing from them for a continuation. We would have approved the continuation if they send it. If they don't, then we don't approve it.
Okay, so we have a motion to continue as a second. Do you
I'll
want-
second the motion.
Okay. Roll call vote.
Andy Reardon, aye.
Dennis, I,
Norm Cheever, aye.
Jerry, aye.
So that was Dennis that made the motion.
Chris Pratt, how
Chris
do you
Pratt,
vote?
aye.
Second.
Unanimous. So the next public hearing is 42 Powder Mill Road.
is there anybody here for that? That's,
They're not gonna be here. Let me read the legal notice. The Southwood Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing under the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act 13140 and the Southwood Conservation Commission Regulations and Bylaw, Chapter 182 and Chapter 450 for a request for determination. The project location is 42 Powder Mill Road. The proposed project is a spray park with proposed work outside the wetland resource areas and their associated buffers. This application is for confirmatory purposes only.
could you explain what that means, confirmatory purposes only? Did Quebec put that in the description on the RDA?
You
So I'm
guys
not
have,
sure
you guys have a copy of the RDA in your folders.
I'm not sure what that means.
I haven't seen that before.
They also mentioned how there was a narration with more detail in the RDA or the RDA submittal, and there was no narration provided. So what did they say?
It's for a spray park at Wally, right?
Yeah. So activity work description, the town of Southwick proposes the construction of a spray park on currently disturbed land. The proposed spray park is located outside of wetland resource areas and their associated buffer zones. Please refer to the attached project narrative for greater detail regarding the proposed project, and they do not have the narrative attached.
So we had a voicemail, did we, that
He
Levesque
just-
will not be in attendance time?
It says right on here that they won't be here.
Right.
Regretfully, they won't be here.
In the letter dated May 1st, it says that in a couple places, it said that it's outside the wetland resource areas, associated buffers, and that the application's been filed to confirm that.
Okay,
Oh, okay, so just to confirm it's outside the,
Confirmation purposes only.
all right.
we can do that, yeah.
So it's, they're feeling that it's outside of all the resource areas, all the buffers, and they filled this out
Just to cover their ass, yeah.
just to confirm that.
Yeah.
So it's out of our pantry.
Or we would just say, look at the thing and say, yeah, it's out there.
Yeah,
Any
I mean-
buffer areas, yeah.
The only real concern I had was where was the water going? And so I had, I asked Nina Arlovek about that, and that was the email I just gave to you now. Where she describes what is going to happen with the discharge.
Utilize the existing subsurface drainage system under the parking lot.
Mhm.
Does it recycle?
No,
No, there's a leach field for that.
I don't know why
Oh,
they
no
don't
kidding.
recycle.
So that uses up water.
Well, I mean, if somebody gets athlete's foot. You know, if you use it to water the field and somebody gets sick on the field and blames it on the water that you recycle.
I mean, they do it in some places, they do
Yeah.
recycle it in some places.
I'd like to see it used to water the field or something at least.
Yeah,
So
it does go back into the, action plant, it just goes back into the ground.
Right, but it's not clean drinking water.
But it appears that it's outside of any jurisdictional areas, so we could
We don't have a
find
site.
it negative, that's,
Right.
we're looking for a negative determination.
Yes, that would be our only privy, right?
I'd make a motion, find, you can look at motion,
Looking for a motion.
I'd make a motion to find it negative.
Is there any second?
I'll second the motion to find it negative.
Andy seconds. Any discussion or debate? If not, we'll go to roll call vote, starting with Andy.
Andy Reardon, aye.
Dennis, I,
Norm Cheever, aye.
Jerry, aye.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Okay, unanimous vote. Okay, we'll move to our third public hearing. And I'll read the legal notice. The Southwood Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing under the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act. Law 131, chapter 40 of this, and the Southwood Conservation Commission regulation and bylaw, chapter 182 and chapter 450 for the request of determination. Project location is 116 Berkshire Avenue. Proposed project is replacement of a retaining wall and stairs within the 100-foot buffer zone of Lake Congamon. Who do we have for the?
John Wilson.
better pull some chairs up.
Why don't you come up to the table?
Oh, we got pictures too.
Let me just share that screen.
So, last fall, I had a big old oak
Yep.
break off at the root and fall and crash on the retaining wall. In fact, it was about a $20,000 cleanup, all in all, as usual. You had to get a big crane in and that's it. Well, that's the wall.
That's the damage, it pushed the wall.
Yeah.
forward.
problem with that? Is that
Huh?
problem with that?
No, I just, it's the bottom wall, so I got two more above it, you know,
Yeah.
and,
We have a lot of
Okay,
pictures.
so we don't have a
So-
picture of
That's
the tree,
the
but
old
yes,
picture.
no, I don't have the tree. So over the, we got back, we went to Florida for the winter, so we got back in the spring and of course. The ice and snow kind of expands and it's made it that much worse. So my contractor's down there working on my neighbor's house, James, and, he's got a temporary roadway along the edge of the pond coming in. So he's got a short window of opportunity to work on stuff, and this is where it gets a little off the beaten track. I came in, applied for the RDA, of course. We had an emergency RDA to clean up the tree because that was a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
This, at first he put up some 4x4s to try to hold the wall up, but it wasn't working. And so over the weekend, he actually tore it down and put the new wall in. So the wall is in, and it's beautiful, but it just, the order of things was wrong,
Yeah.
but,
it's beautiful.
Hopefully,
yeah.
is there a map that has the floodplain on it, Sabrina?
Yeah, let's just check it.
So there's the new one.
That's the new one. We just followed what the existing one was.
Yeah, we went, this,
We didn't go any bigger, we didn't go any wider, we didn't.
and it's only, it's under 4 feet high,
Where can I get the internet?
and it's, beautiful stuff, river rock.
Yeah.
Type facade on it. So I think it's an improvement all along the edge of the lake.
Did you put a silt fence in before you did the
Of
work?
course he did, yes.
Yeah. I saw it,
Yeah.
I went by it a couple days ago.
You got your boat out?
Yep.
Lucky
That might out.
That couldn't have qualified for the emergency certification.
Well, I think if you had been down there, you wouldn't have wanted to be near that wall when it was raining.
You wouldn't want this whole bank to come down either, right?
That too, yeah, it's a lot of
It
dirt.
might have qualified under a
Yeah, it's a heck of a pitch.
certification.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't like walk up the hill. There's no way.
Is it
You know,
November?
you have to go the stair route.
When did we do the trees?
So is there any more work that needs to be done, or is he?
Just replacing my railings that I had just put up before the tree hit them.
It took the stairs down, it took
Yeah,
everything.
so I'm gonna do the railings and reset, some of the stairs aren't really stairs, they're 6x6s. That are staked into the side of the hill.
Yeah.
Going up to the house.
And we have the old the old anchor,
Oh, the railings from the. anchor.
railings from the
Yeah.
anchor.
The old metal railings that they had at the anchor, yeah.
Nice.
Goldie had given them.
Goldie
A
had
little
dropped them
nostalgia
off
there, a
to
little
us.
nostalgia.
We had them in the yard for quite a few years. We
I
finally
think we
put
had
them
them in the
up.
yard for
right
5
before
years
the-
before I finally put them up.
Mm.
You don't have to do it right now.
Okay,
I almost forgot about it.
all right.
The pictures. Try to get the,
So that's 25 feet from the lake, is that what it says? The wall that you replaced?
I think so, yeah, that seems about right.
25 or 24, 24, 24.
Yeah, approximately 25 feet.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So he brought a bobcat into
Yeah, well, he had it there for
his neighbor.
the neighbor
Yeah.
job, yeah. And so he had a kind of a window of opportunity too. I had actually paid for the stone back right after the tree fell.
Yeah.
Cause I knew I was gonna replace that wall and I wanted to have a contractor ready to go. And so he was ready to go because he was working on James's place. And so he had that window of opportunity over the weekend and did it in a day. So it wasn't that big a job.
I think this
So you
is,
probably could have got an emergency certification from Sabrina, so you wouldn't have had to come after the fact.
Well, we kind of thought that the RDA that we filled out for the trees, that whole emergency situation, we kind of thought that was all kind of together, right? Kind of.
Until we
yes,
talked to.
Until we.
Chris.
Or whoever.
He said, come down, do another one.
Well,
I think the contractor is the same contractor who put up the wall without a permit last year. Norm, this is the one that you took a picture of.
Right.
Ralph's place. I
Right.
think he's the same guy. So he's
Yeah.
putting up stuff without permits.
I suppose we can't tell them to take it down and put it back up again.
Oh,
No,
please don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no. Don't punish him. We don't want him punished. I was trying to find you pictures of the tree that fell.
Oh,
Of
well,
court, you can't find him when you,
Progress,
huh?
are there any photos of the work?
I
in
sent you the
progress?
whole thing, it's right
Not
here.
really the work in progress. No, we weren't here. We, all winter.
Mhm.
But, when he did it in a day. I mean, he did it, and we weren't even home and we, boom, come back, it's done.
So you still need to do these stairs though.
Well, a couple of them, yeah.
Where's the pictures I sent you? Oh, here, do you want to see the work in progress? I mean, you want to see what I have? Didn't I
What do you
send
got?
you?
Is that what's in the,
So I mean, that
Okay.
was,
Well, that's not really work in progress. That's not.
from
Is
up
that just a
top.
board wall or is that are those big?
Oh, those are
Those are
big blocks. Those are 2x4 blocks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any drainage behind it or anything? Any kind of?
Yeah, gravel. There's the old wall was cinder block, so he ground that up and used it as fill behind those. Yeah. It would have good drainage.
no, it's just, if you
And
did,
then
I would have.
Behind that wall was cobblestone.
No room. It's good that you're paying attention.
Chris, what do you think?
So what I see there is like no silt fence, no barrier between his work and the lake. Right,
It was there.
It was there. yeah.
there. That was after.
that's a kayak, that's a lake, that's an excavator, there's nothing separating the three.
Is Chris still online?
That's not. you,
Oh,
Chris.
Chris,
That's not you.
Chris is right
That goes
outside
back to-
the,
That's
On my way in.
Oh, great.
because I can see the town hall. right
That's over there.
Is that the right property?
now.
Right.
Here.
That wasn't when he was working, that was just when he was, that was when he was down.
That was before.
That was before, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't take a picture of the silt fence.
You have to do emergency certification previously for retaining walls that were holding back earth that was holding back the house above, so.
So when we contacted, right, when did we first contact?
Oh, I don't
I don't
know,
know.
it was a couple weeks ago at
Yeah.
least, yeah. Hey, Chris.
Hi. Um,
Did you hear the whole?
I believe I did. So.
Okay.
All right. That ended your thing. Is it?
use the silt.
He's gotta take it down and put it back up again.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Well, that would be.
Oy
that would be
vey.
tough, Yeah.
I think Tammy would agree.
Oh, definitely. It'd be so fun to
By hand.
watch. Yes.
By hand,
fun.
Maybe
Yeah.
you could do some community service.
2,000 block.
Oh, yeah, that heavy like.
Yeah.
Or you say
Yeah.
2x4 feet?
2x4, yeah.
It's, River Rock.
Yeah, the
Techno
facade,
block.
Yeah, techno block.
Okay.
Yeah.
River
Do
Rock.
some
Techno
community
Block.
service and help keep the lake clean, like that.
You'll have to-
Yeah.
The lake cleanup.
Yeah.
That's why I keep my pool skimmer in the boat.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Hey, guys, sorry to interrupt. I got John Wilson, but I didn't get the second speaker. I'm Jean, the secretary, and I had to join by Zoom today.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes, I'm the Jean here, yes. Could I have the name of the second speaker, please?
Tammy Prevost Wilson, John's wife.
No, I don't need that much detail, just the name is fine. PREVOST.
VOST.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
That's okay,
Thank
it
you.
scared me.
I know.
All of a sudden, the voice
The
came out of the
owl.
chamber, yeah, out of the owl. Which is a great device.
That's-
What do you think, Andy? So you're thinking there,
I don't see a problem with those folks having a wall, but you say the contractor repeatedly does things without a
Or did
permit.
he think they had a RDA filed and stuff already, right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah. I mean, we were under.
Yeah, until we talked to you.
Right.
who's the contractor?
Normandy. Inc.
We should take it up with them probably.
Send a letter.
Well, aware of the NOI at 112, but
Yeah, yeah.
so he knows what has to happen.
And you said you paid for the rock with Normandy back when the tree fell down,
Yes,
so I
yeah,
knew it was coming.
right, right.
Wasn't a surprise.
So we'll send off a little letter to them, put them on notice.
Well, you know, he was probably under the impression we were still under the emergency, you
You know,
know.
we'll let them know it wasn't then.
Yeah.
I'll send him a-
Let him know it wasn't, I guess,
Like, put it
yes.
a naughty letter.
Get a naughty letter.
You've been bad.
Well, you're on the hook as a property owner, but you did put your faith in somebody else to take care of it for you.
And they did.
Yeah.
So as a customer, I'm a happy
Let
camper.
it work
As
out.
long as I don't have to take it down, Dennis.
Yeah, community service.
Community service.
Is it all beach sand from the wall to the water
Yes,
at this
yeah,
point?
yes, it's all sand.
Okay, it was all sand before.
Yes,
Yeah.
So there's nothing that has to be reestablished. and-
No erosion
No.
or anything will happen.
it's always been all
Yeah.
sand, yeah,
Right.
We reused as much of, we recycled whatever we could.
yeah. So like the cobblestones that were behind the cinder block wall.
Hmm.
It was amazing, the layers of
Hmm.
stuff that's in there.
Bottles and
Oh, old milk bottles and just.
yeah.
bunnies.
rope that thick around.
They saved the bunnies. We
Like,
saved the
okay.
bunnies.
That stuff is going, it's amazing what you find when you start to dig.
Norm is-
You don't want to
Norm
dig
is
from
still
what I
in
hear.
I'd make a motion,
It's a mistake.
make a motion,
Not there, that's where the ice house went.
make a motion to find it negative.
I'll second.
Thank you.
No call vote?
And you're nice.
Dennis, I.
Norman, aye.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Jerry, I.
Okay,
We'll be over on the first warm day for a swim.
Fantastic.
you,
Come on over
good.
for that community service.
Good.
Come on over.
Thank you.
Keep the lake clean. We can pick up some trash along the beach. Yeah.
Hmm,
Sounds
that
good.
was we got some good stuff last week.
Yeah, I saw you with Michelle out there.
Yeah,
Down at the end of,
4 bags
St.
full.
Pasture, yeah.
Thanks for coming down and explaining it
Yes.
to us.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, sorry.
we tried to do it right.
Get it recorded
you know?
from somebody, come back and then have to go through the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't
didn't
wanna do
want,
that,
we didn't
yeah.
want to do that.
Don't wanna do
Yeah.
any of that. Yeah, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
No more
I don't know where we are, Norm.
Norman, doing a good job, bro.
We're
We're
just
all the way
now,
down.
we're just now
Norman's
under
keeping
business.
this thing flowing. I wanna keep him to.
Hey, come on, Dennis. I heard everything
Right
else.
on schedule. This guy's doing a good job.
I heard there wasn't much else going on.
Hmm. We're done. We can go home now.
No, we're not quite done yet.
Norm has some reports.
Nah, we're done.
Yeah.
Norm's gonna extend the meeting in a minute here.
He said it was quick.
Yeah, he did tell me that before too.
Oh, John, your USB,
Your USB,
your USB.
You stick.
Is
your
it,
USB pictures, your,
is it? All right, see,
don't know what else might be.
is
in
it Kingston? Is that the name of it?
What, yes.
Is that it?
Is
Yeah,
it
right there,
Kingston?
Isn't that Jack came first?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to check it. Seriously.
Already, yeah. That's awesome.
The owl.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Okay, so we're down to, is this the new one or is this the old one? Yeah, that's the new one. That's the new one. Okay. All right, on to new business. Proposed amendments to the local permitting program requested by the select board and chief of police / harbor master.
You guys have the request in your packets.
Diane, did you want to come up to this? Or you want to just?
Have questions?
Okay,
Come on up.
it's nice to have a chat. Who knows? Yep.
You want to speak first, Norm, or you want Diane to? Have you had a chance to review all this?
I've reviewed it and I also asked LMC to review it. Both from this standpoint and from other changes that may need to be. Need to be made. And so it's on their agenda for this Thursday. I have no problem with what the select board has recommended,
Was there anything else that you think might need to be included?
rental property.
That's, so, and I understand that.
It's unclear.
It is very unclear. I even looked it up on the state website. I looked at what commercial property means. There's no definition under their articles for commercial property where there was for just about every other word.
Yep, yep.
But there's no definition for commercial property. Other than it means, I think, more than what a resident would be doing. It would be like an established business. So I think commercial means something more than what residents would do. However, we do have within ourselves the right to create a bylaw. I
Right,
believe.
if you rent a house. I own a rental property.
Right.
That house is, to me, that's, I'm the commercial enterprise.
But I don't think that's the way the state views it, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Right. So it's different if
Right.
you own the house and you live there and you're doing something in your front yard as compared to I rent a house and then I have someone else
Right,
doing
no,
that activity.
and we all understand that. That's why
Yeah.
we want to clarify and make that.
Right. Distinction,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Their view of commercial is, I'm sorry, Diane Gale, 5 Point Grove Road. Their view of commercial is pretty much accessible by the public,
Right.
and that's their distinction, I think, so.
No,
He doesn't. You've seen.
I mean, what I saw looked good to me. I was happy
Yeah.
to see that they took an interest. It hasn't been updated in such a long time that.
I did run it by council briefly. He didn't put the wording in. I just gave him mine and he thought that was suitable, but you guys may want to tweak it a little bit and resubmit it just to make sure it's all in the right form on that.
Yeah. it was something like-
I'd also like the LMC to have a look at it too. I think that was a good idea.
Yeah.
Extra eyes.
Yeah.
You guys are pretty sharp over there.
Plus they're also listed on,
And then it goes back to the state anyways.
right,
For approval, so.
Yeah. it's definitely-
Right.
I would assume you would get another letter acknowledging that,
Yeah.
like the initial,
Mhm.
right?
right.
Okay,
Good job.
so,
Yeah, Dick Reynolds, I just wanted to add that whatever we do to the LPP, any changes that we want to make also have to be approved by DEP, as we have in the past. When, in 2010, there were changes made, and that had to go back to DEP for their consent also. So
Right.
Select Board and DEP and Concom all have to approve.
Right.
So you just wanna hold this until we
We'll
go
hold
back
on.
from LMC?
But I mean, this consensus here looks pretty good.
Absolutely.
You're not
Yeah.
gonna
I would say.
hold things up for sure.
I think there was
Okay.
a weakness in it. And it's-
Yeah. And then we'll find more.
okay. And that other paragraph, we didn't give you any language, but just ask you to consider if you want to put some language to what Chief Landis, the harbor master, was suggesting that you have, if there's a non-conforming that you allow, that you have those neighbors acknowledge it and put that to.
Right, I think we
documentation.
have discussed that as well.
Okay, so that was
That was
what he
something that
was
we,
getting at
yeah.
that.
Probably gonna get some legal terminology for that.
But I wasn't gonna
Right.
suggest that because I don't know how you talk to the people about that.
right,
So,
Hmm. It's like when you get a permit, a lot of times your adjacent neighbors have to be notified for certain things, like the chapter 91, for example. You have to notify adjacent neighbors.
They need notification, but they're not on your permit. And
And it's,
the
there should
suggestion
be a
is
write-up.
maybe there should be something
Some kind of language in
documenting
there. Yeah.
acceptance.
Yeah, I would like to see the write-up.
So. Okay, so
Very good, thank you,
Good.
Diane,
thank you.
I appreciate you
Thank you
coming
very
up.
much.
All right. We also have a discussion of complaint of dock at 10 Grandview Street and possible resolution.
We have 10 Grandview right here.
Come on down.
Come
on
on
up.
down.
So you are the property owner?
Yes.
Okay,
Backstory.
yes, that'd be great.
A neighbor,
Get your address for the record.
Nope,
10, what we're talking about,
just state your name as well.
Lyle Rotundo, 10 Grandview Street.
Thank you. All right,
so we received a complaint from a neighbor of 10 Grandview saying that the dock, now that it's extended, the dock's been extended by a few feet, but it's 72 feet over water, so it's within the restriction of 75 feet. But because of this length, it now obstructs navigation to their dock and possibly a safety hazard to their swimmers. We did a site visit and the actual placement of the dock on the shore, it's fine. But because of the diagonal nature of the property lines, the extended property line is also diagonal. So, Norm was in attendance, Andy was in attendance, Dick Reynolds was in attendance, Chief Harbor Master, Landis was in attendance, and I was as well, and also the neighbor, and they came all to an agreement that to rotate the tip of your dock 6 feet to the south should make everybody happy.
Okay, so I'm assuming this is on the same page. This is where you'd want it
Yeah,
pointing.
yep, yeah,
you can leave it where it is on the land, but just,
the land state,
You'll
you
have to
just
move
gotta
one
pivot
stake
it.
on the thing.
Yeah, if you pull one of the pins out, you just rotate the dock.
Okay. I just have a question, because I just want to do this once, if I have to do anything.
right,
So just so you know, I took a look, I mean, like, as far as obstruction. This is a, sorry. This is a property that's 2 houses down. I'm in the middle of my property right now, and 12 Grandview has a right of dock right in the middle of here.
Mhm.
I'm saying if I pivot this 6 feet there, I mean, as far as safety of this boat, I'm gonna be obstructing their property. That's my concern, as
No,
far
that,
as.
that was my concern as well. Initially, they wanted you to pivot at 12 feet. So the 6 feet was like a compromise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to
So
kind of get a different picture too. I mean,
And
The
part of
dock
it
is
is because the
22,
length of the dock,
basically.
you need a 72-foot dock there. How much water do you have?
that's what I just bought. So basically I had older docks there originally. And I just called the
I
town.
mean, it's the length of the dock is going to impact how much you can turn it. So that it's not interfering with somebody else's property. If you have a dock that's very long, just a little bit of a turn is gonna impact it more than a shorter dock.
Yeah, I mean,
So if your dock were shorter, it'd be less impact for everybody.
I just been going off of what I was told I could put in the water.
Oh, you can, but I'm just saying, if it does impact, the length of your dock does impact other people's property, then it would have to be shorter.
Can I just ask what dock or what property that this is imposing a safety hazard on, like what property it is?
It was the property to the north, directly to the north of you. I can't, was that 6? Is it
5
6?
Grandview.
Grandview?
There's like it's like a log cabin and there's another house below it. I'm just,
Let me bring it up. You are
It's
10
it's the
Grandview.
property to the, just one lot north of you, on
Yeah,
the lake.
right. So,
But you don't have a problem moving it, right? You
I just want to make sure I do it one time.
and don't have to move it again, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I want.
refresh.
So you need a 72-foot dock?
Yeah,
Most people have like a 50-foot, which is fine.
I mean, and I have a couple boats on there.
So is this right here? And that is 6 Grandview, right? That one's 6 Grandview. Right,
I believe so.
Divine, yep.
Okay.
But if that length of the dock does impact the other people around you, it would have to be shorter, so.
So what is the length of the dock? What
It
length,
depends.
what length of the dock wouldn't obstruct anybody's or area of water which is gonna be a safety matter, I'm assuming.
You have sections, different length sections.
Yeah, I mean,
So what's the length of the last one out there?
16 feet.
16, so that would be probably acceptable.
Well, it's a triangle. We have to figure it out.
Yeah, you'd have to kind of draw it and see. Like Chris said, the longer it is, the more the outward extension is as far as navigability when they're coming in. But I don't know if that was something you could live with, but you might.
How many boats do you have?
I got 4 boats on there.
You have 4 boats or you're renting?
I'm renting 4 boats on there. I've been doing it for over 10 years. And I've never had a problem. I just extended the dock out because I went and bought all new aluminum docks because my other docks were not worth fixing any longer. So that's why before I paid for all the docks, I called the town and asked them what I was able to do. And that's why I'm here. So I didn't mean to, I don't want to cause any issue or safety concern at all. But just trying to make it work.
Property here.
Kind of following the shoreline as far as the angle.
Right here.
It's,
You want me to
90 degrees
put on
to the shoreline.
It is.
Is there a way to zoom? Oh, yeah.
yeah, and
It's
let
not
me,
quite 9 degrees, so.
I
just
can
switch
get
it
rid of the
so
lake.
that the outer portion is 6 feet further south. It's a compromise that works.
Is it obstructing I'm sorry, just so I have it in front of me, it's obstructing the neighbor to the right side? That beach?
This one right here.
That's an association beach?
It is not.
No.
Nope.
The yellow docks are.
Yeah,
association.
yeah, the Yellow Docks are
Down there.
Association.
That's
Let me get
private.
those, property map. And then Yeah,
Cause I'm dead set in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Of that property. I don't-
Yep.
That's a huge piece of property, right, or almost double the size of my property.
So where's the obstruction now?
this neighbor, to the north where the mouse is, they're saying that there's an obstruction.
Oh, where? The dock
Yeah.
is way on the other side, they got
Yeah.
all beach.
And so their dock was not in at the time, and I also asked that question, and he said, well, if I put my dock over here, there would be an obstruction.
Come on.
That was the conversation.
Well, it needs to be 25 feet away.
Yeah,
from
he
the
would still have to be
adjacent
25
neighbors.
feet.
That's
Right, but
closest.
he has, less than 60 feet frontage. He's got about, well,
He couldn't
48.
be more over than where the
But
middle
he's,
is.
it seems like on the ground, like in the photo here, his dock did look like it was right on the property line of the south budding property. But what boots on the ground, it looked like his dock was right smack in the middle of his property. It's just,
And just to show you,
Direct-
just to show you
direct-
one more thing, I just wanna make it like,
It doesn't look like.
right here,
Yeah, I wasn't able to go over there. so-
I had, like, this is where I understand the whole situation of
let's see if I can
whatever, the
move it.
obstruction, that it's a little bit farther out, but this is exactly where I've been putting it, and you can tell, I mean, there's tracks of people for years accessing this, there's sand there.
But to Chris's point, that's exactly where you put the shorter dock. And now that
Mhm.
it's a longer dock, it's a different.
Yeah,
He also expressed concern about the boats coming around through the dock,
He
coming into
did.
the swim area.
But doesn't the property, that beach property, if he put his dock right in the middle of his property, there would be no issue of any obstruction. And then was it 25 feet, was it?
so this was, I don't know what year this
When you look at the
was.
property
then-
line extensions,
Yeah.
that's where the interference takes place.
Yeah,
Okay,
Can I interrupt for a second, please?
yes,
The application has one boat at that site. There was only
Yeah.
one sticker issued for 10 Grandview Street, not 4.
Okay, okay. Okay, I put 3 dock vessels, I can update, I mean, I can,
we're talking about right here.
that's my property, correct.
that's the old dock.
So
This is the old dock.
you to angle it this way,
down this way,
Yeah.
up.
and then it's gonna be in
Yeah,
front of
that,
this one,
that looks more of an impedance.
then
Yeah.
all
So-
of this area over here.
You don't have the property lines there.
No, the property line's not there, but this is kind of a guide, this fence and then this sort of tree line.
It already looks like it's angled south a little bit, and it is, I mean, but in much more south, that's really gonna.
And then this is the
that's gonna
association.
Pin in, and look how close this is already. It's in all this. You could just put a
That's
dot
the 60-footer.
in the
right
middle
now.
of it Right here.
That one
I mean, there's
This-
nothing-
That's before you put
That's
This-
roughly 55 feet, I think,
55, okay.
I believe, I don't remember the exact.
Right, before you.
This is the short
Correct.
one. This is the old one.
But I guess it's the harbor master's call, right? Cause he's the,
And
the
he did
ultimate
about
authority on this.
navigability and
He's the one that
safety, yeah.
decides what's the navigational hazard, not
so,
us.
and he's the one that said pivot 6 feet.
He was very happy with the 6 foot.
Right, he's already been out to look at it, right?
Yes.
I don't think we have any choice because he's the ultimate authority on this
That's what it is.
navigational hazard, so. If you wanna talk to the police chief, the harbor master,
Yeah, I mean, I
Feel
guess
free.
so, I just, Mitch, listen, I don't wanna cause any issues, but the fact that this guy is saying, well, what if I move my dock over here? Well, yeah, it's gonna create an issue. It's obvious, so, but,
I would talk to the harbor master.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
a reasonable guy.
Yeah.
What we'll do.
Did you fill the outlines and everything for me?
I will get, I brought this, cause I wanted to get this paperwork right to you guys.
I just want to see the photo.
This,
The way
yeah.
we,
Yeah.
when we were there, the way we sighted it was by the trees on the other side. See here? So you take this line, so if you move these over, you're gonna just line it up with the gap there. So that's what you wanna look for.
Sure,
That's just a way to confirm that that's where it was. Just the distance between here and how that's gonna move over. That's how
Okay.
we sighted it. Like Lehman, how do you know 6 feet
Right.
in the water?
okay,
Thanks for coming in. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lyle.
Thank you. And sorry I missed your call last week for the site visit. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
realize
It's-
you were waiting for me.
I thought we were gonna get everybody out there to try to resolve it there. and-
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting on a call back, but it's okay, so. Thank you very much.
All right,
you.
thanks for coming in.
What do we have next?
Okay, discussion of trail signs at Sofinowski and final day with Lucas. No,
They grow up so fast.
all right. You're gonna be empty nester soon.
Yeah, that's for sure. Just a few more months now.
I have an
Oh.
interview tomorrow with a new DOE.
Oh, well, he'd be cheap.
Nobody will
Same.
say that.
I don't know.
No one compared to Lucas.
Somebody has to carry the torch, but
I'm curious, do you know who it is yet?
Yes, and I forgot her name.
Lucas can train her.
Izzy? It's her first name, I think. Find out tomorrow.
You put him in a leadership role and let him train her.
Yeah. He said he's gonna be around for the
Thank-
summer,
thank
but
you.
I will be around for
Probably-
To get some experience in a leadership role.
yeah, we probably won't get her until next year, though.
That's okay.
Oh, you're gonna come back?
when I
Well,
can.
Or you can have her volunteer a little bit now.
She does still have class in the morning.
So,
I'll tell her, she
See-
doesn't get the job
Teachers.
unless she comes now.
Yeah,
I didn't go to school today myself. Okay. All right, so what can you tell us about the trail signs, Lucas?
Oh, yes, I've been writing up the dialogue that these signs would have. They're not fully complete. It's getting there.
Okay,
And then once those are done, I will be back to show those just to make sure everything is to
Excellent.
your liking. After that, I'm gonna be working with Southwoods. I might bring them down to Sofinowski just so they can get an idea of
Mhm.
what this trail looks like. And it would
Yeah.
help with like the sizing of these signs. I'm still thinking like speed limit signs, something like that. But
Nice.
maybe they'll decide something that's better based on what they see. And then
Yeah.
after that, it's just,
like visibility size wise, you mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, they're very clear and they're not like
Mhm.
obstructing anything, or if we're not like
Right.
hurting trees by putting them on.
That'd be
Right.
fine.
But
Yeah, but we're all
Yeah.
volunteers except for Sabrina, so you can always volunteer, do whatever, be involved, stay involved.
already,
That'd be cool.
works for me.
Okay,
There's
all
a
right.
Special tree on that property that's unique to the area.
I don't
You
know.
know about that?
Like one specific tree or
One
species?
specific tree that's, on the property. I'll
I know there's a big maple.
have to look into that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's check that out.
Yeah.
Something to have a sign for.
I don't remember that, but.
Yeah.
Okay. Discussion of hydrilla coming up. Dick, I believe you're still on.
Yes. He's on mute.
I'm unmuted now.
There you go.
Okay, Lake Management has been working with DCR, when this, DCR actually was the first one to identify hydrilla, which is an invasive species. I read in an article today that actually came out from fish tanks down in Florida. People dumped it in the water down there. And so it's another invasive that has, gone all over the place, and it's going up the Connecticut River. And the Army Corps of Engineers has been assigned the task for the federal government to clean it up. And DCR, in the case of Massachusetts, is the ones chartered with tracking it and cleaning up hydrilla in the various places that it is found. And we unfortunately have hydrilla that was found in the Cove by South Ramp by DCR. And fortunately, though, they put in for funding for a grant, and the grant is for $250,000 to cover 5 years. The first 3 are guaranteed they're part of it, and then with an extension possible for years 4 and years 5. And the first year, we've got a contract that the select board signed for 60, I believe it was 64,000. You actually have a copy of it. 64,000 and change for year 1, which is to assess the hydrilla with various methods. And they use a DNA type tracking which is more than just looking line of sight. The advantage of what they do through Stantec is the company that is already engaged by the Commonwealth under Combis. So everything is already, both Stantec and Solitude are already under agreement with the Commonwealth. So we just have to piggyback on it. And Stantec will actually do the fancy assessment, which is a DNA type mapping. And the nice thing about that is that you don't have to see every plant. If you catch it early enough, and the key here is timing. Before it starts to break down, they can actually, it sends off like spores, and they can detect the presence of the spores literally hundreds of feet away from the actual plant. So we'll have a combination of line of sight mapping by Solitude, and then this DNA, and I think it's rDNA and eDNA, two different DNAs that they do by Stantec, and then treat the areas that it's found. Any place they find hydrilla will be treated, and then after treatment, they will do a post-treatment inspection and then a full post-treatment inspection. In other words, make sure that it's really gone and not just broken down and could come back. So, and then this is repeat next year, the same thing. It cannot be, because of the way it grows, hydrilla does not grow in the same rate as does the curly leaf pondweed and the Eurasian water milfoil that they are already treated by Solitude. It grows slower initially, so assessing its locations is later than one would assess the Eurasian water milfoil and the curly leaf pondweed. And then treatment is the same thing. It's skewed. So you have to do a treatment for it's assess, treat, two different schedules. And
Would
that's
it be
why
the
the
same
increased
dicot?
cost.
It would be treated with the dicot as well, or?
Yes, it is the same chemical that's already permitted and has been used for, God, now probably 20 years, Dennis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One,
so you wouldn't need any additional permitting. This is already covered under your order of conditions.
It's already covered under the 292, 251.
Mhm. Good.
excellent.
And
Nice work.
like I said, we're lucky that this is totally funded by Army Corps of Engineers through DCR to us. And we do not have to spend town funds to do this work.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Are we
Yeah.
gonna get a copy of the survey of where these treatment areas are going to be? My only concern would be that since the original order of conditions was created, the Natural Heritage Endangered Species Program habitat has changed a little bit.
Is it increased on the south end?
I actually decreased on the south end, sadly, but where Norm lives, there's a new something. I don't know what it is.
What'd you do, Norm?
Norm, what did you bring in?
Got something in. So I don't,
Salamanders or?
No.
Raising
it's in the it's in the water. I don't know what it is. Yeah, so that would be my only concern, is we don't want to knock out whatever's there, because it was a plant that was down in the southern part of
Cotton grass? Is that what it is?
yep.
We never found any cotton grass out there though.
So maybe it's a different species, but the cotton grass was in the same area that they're the more condensed areas now. So I can only assume that's what it is.
Yeah, they might tell you, but they keep it secret from the general public.
Right,
Mhm.
because people will remove it and then they can do what?
Well,
Different
I was trying not to say anything, but then
Dennis's
Dennis
fault.
said something. So
Okay, that's not what it is.
it's not that.
All right. Okay, thank you, Dick. Now we have
You're
some
welcome.
reports from Mr. Cheever's been busy down in Suffield. Yes, a couple of things to tell us about.
Yes, on Monday, April 29th, Selectman Jason Perone, Dick Runnels and myself went to Town Hall in Suffield to address the new LPP contract with Suffield. We met with Colin Mole and the town attorney. Meeting went extremely well. I presented basically the same presentation that you saw last fall. We basically said that we were short changed by about $4,500, I think it was, from the residents in Connecticut. And Colin agreed totally in concept to up the number on a staggered basis, the way it was originally we sent. It does have to be approved by their select board. I also wanted to get some clarification of some things. Southwick will continue the enforcement. There was some talk that we may have Suffield do the enforcement of Connecticut people, but he wants us to do it, which is fine. Yeah. He also agreed to the picture taking that I did for Massachusetts to allow to do it for Connecticut. So we'll put that on the calendar to be done this year.
Excellent.
So again, the pictures will be of every boat and every dock and tie it to an address in Connecticut. Okay. He's concerned that he needs to validate the quantity of boats and docks that are counted, and he wanted somebody from Suffield to address that. And at the time, I didn't think about it, but the person that does Middle Pond, Connecticut is Scotty. He lives in Suffield.
Yeah.
And Mike does South Pond, and he is a Suffield resident, so maybe
Yeah.
that will qualify, but we'll address that with him.
Two LMC guys.
Yeah. He also agreed that he would send a letter to all residents of lakefront property owners to tell them the importance of properly filling out the documentation that we have trouble with today.
Excellent.
Okay. And I intended to go to the next select board meeting when it's on their agenda, just in case there was any questions. Wasn't on this past Wednesday, so hopefully the next one, the select board will approve that then. So that's that update.
Excellent, excellent. All right, scheduling a site visit for Seasons South Pond Association.
No, I got one
Oh.
more.
I thought you said you were done.
Well, that was with that one.
I didn't know, like,
I have now attended 2 Suffield Conservation Commission meetings. First one, I was just to introduce myself and they were concerned that there was a big issue that had happened on the lake. And I found somehow.
They were happy to hear that it was nothing.
And, you know, I basically went through the list that we had discussed at the prior meeting. But then at the next meeting, there was an item on the agenda that impacts the lake, and that is on Mayflower Lane. If you remember correctly, we had some docks on Turtle Cove.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who belonged to.
Yeah.
you're right.
And they were illegally in there. The property belonged to Crestfield. Property has now been sold. Apparently there are 3 lots. They want to combine the 3 lots, do a tree cutting program. And this was just a preliminary discussion of activities to come. So as it gets to closer and closer, I'll get more information.
Excellent.
We're
Yes.
aware of
Good to
something,
know ahead of
chainsaws
time.
will be happening in
Yeah.
Turtle Cove sometime in the future.
Right.
Okay.
Game, yeah.
Okay, so that's my update from the Conservation Commission in Suffield.
Excellent. Okay, now we'll move on to scheduling a site visit at Four Seasons South Pond Association.
Yeah.
And redo,
We're going back there to look at property lines.
so how are we gonna look at the property lines? What are we gonna decide?
We're not surveyors.
We're not surveyors.
I'm not going to look at property lines.
No.
I thought we settled that.
We did settle that,
Well,
as far as we're concerned.
we thought we settled it. The neighbors the association, two neighbors were not happy.
Yep.
They went to the select board. And I don't know what happened there, but I assume this was a request
From the select board.
from the select board.
Oh, the select board.
They wanted to meet with us
We are
and the owner.
as perplexed as you. We are not surveyors. We are not of the mind to be disputing where the jog is. Again,
Right,
Right?
250 years later.
yeah.
Right.
Uh,
If they wanna hire surveyors, God bless them, go for it. We're not gonna
we
do
haven't
it.
had that discussion yet. But I felt that we had worked together and had a good resolution with the harbor master as well.
Yeah,
I mean, we made a decision,
yeah, I think it was
another decision.
I am not sure what else we could do
Yeah.
here.
if they wanna appeal it to the select board, then it's up to the select board.
They need a
Is
survey.
it the association that's appealing?
The
this?
association that's appealing
Yeah,
it.
Okay, not Mrs. Drury.
They're appealing our decision, so we don't
I see, okay.
weigh in as select board
I mean,
gets
If
to,
you all were gonna go back out there, we were all gonna tag along with you.
I'm not going back up
I
to.
don't think we can, Diana, there's nothing we can look at that we haven't already seen,
Yeah.
you know, and it's,
I agree with
we decided that that rock pile is where the,
The de
we didn't
facto
say,
state
we didn't
line.
say that's the line, we said that's what we're going
It's
to
a
use
marker.
Right,
as a marker.
Right,
Right.
right, which is.
Exactly.
what
We didn't
the-
say that's a property line at all.
right.
And I think Joe is getting it confused, and they're trying to clarify that, because he keeps saying that the Conservation Commission agreed that that was the property line. And I'm,
No,
had tried
No.
to say a few times, that was just
we
an
agreed,
agreement on a marker,
Yeah.
that we would use that
Right.
as a marker to then measure where the docks would
Sure.
be.
Yeah, I don't think
Correct.
we ever
Everyone-
said it was.
We're not
No.
surveyors, we don't.
We're not.
His latest statement was that drainage is in
Massachusetts.
When Connecticut put it
It
in,
was put in by Connecticut.
Connecticut, on Connecticut property.
on Connecticut property.
You know, Randy Brown was at one of the site visits, and I specifically asked him, do you have any issues
Yeah.
with the property line here, that might be on Southwood property, the pipe might go.
I might have an issue of it draining into the lake.
Well,
Yeah.
Other than
Yeah.
where it is, it's what it's doing.
That's true too.
Well, the chief had told us that he had done a lot of research too and
Yeah.
found out about lines and I had thought we came up with a compromise that,
Yeah.
I think most of you were out there that.
Yeah.
that miserable
in the
day.
rain,
Went
yeah.
to Wendy, yeah,
And
yeah, actually, I met
and
with
it
her as
could
well.
be on AOT side of it, it could be there that there's a property dispute too, maybe that's the problem, maybe it's not on the other side.
As well.
Yeah.
It
It's
could
up-
actually be that way.
It's up to
Yes.
them to try to figure that out, though, and that's,
Yeah.
Al's not gonna
Yeah.
I
get
agree.
into that.
So the select board did ask you guys to go. Am I saying no to the select?
Yes, you
board?
are,
I'm not going.
and there's nothing we
Please
can
don't
do.
yell at me.
Well, she's here,
Please
she,
don't let Doug yell at me.
If you wanna go again, I'll be glad to go.
Make sure it's raining though.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
fun.
So, if you wanna go, Norm, I assume, 4:30 would be good for you. And the first week of June are you available the first week of June? So
I'm-
Ms. Drury wants to be at this meeting too.
Who else is gonna be there? The neighbors, all the association?
Well,
Yeah, I'm not gonna be part of that. But Norm's.
I would be available.
Okay,
I'd be
Norm.
glad to go.
What do you think the site visit is going to?
Accomplish. It's not gonna.
I think we're
Just
just
gonna
gonna
ask the
be
same
just as
questions.
confused as we are
Everything needs
now.
survey,
We have
correct?
the Massachusetts
And then you can start from there.
Mhm.
survey, and then we
Yeah.
have Suffield saying that they got something different, and the only thing really we can say is, sorry, hire a surveyor
Yeah.
to show us
Go to
where
the
it
site
actually
to
is.
Look at something, if there's
It's-
nothing. to
I think
look at,
Diane
two
made a good
different-
point. If we start arguing where the jog is.
We didn't know.
Yeah,
Oh, man,
It's a whole state issue.
So it's a matter of where the state line is and it's a matter, from there it has to be surveyed. I think, if you want an accurate answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was under the impression that everybody said, okay, well, we'll do this and that's close enough. And if that's not good enough, then the next step
I
would be
think to me,
to formally do it.
if that association's concern is the state line, that is neither the select board nor conservation, it goes to the state.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
Right.
definitely not our
It's
purview.
not our jurisdiction to
No.
declare we're gonna steal Connecticut now.
Correct.
exactly.
If he's disputing the dock permit to the juries, he has no standing. He's not the applicant.
Right.
And he can't make a
And we've
You
made a
can't file for
determination
appeal
on
on
that,
somebody else's dock.
right, we've made a determination on that, so.
And the attorney agrees, he has no standing if it's on that permit. He can appeal his own permit. If you decided where he had to put his.
Mm.
He can't appeal somebody else's.
And we talked about that too.
Yep.
You just don't want to go?
I will go.
Norm will go.
Okay, Norm.
I will represent us there.
There's no reason, but
I agree.
Yeah.
Because we still need to do some more research on it as well.
it might be good PR, if
Um,
nothing else.
So, I mean, it to be determined.
You have-
Nothing we can make a
we
decision
have a
on.
specific day, the first week of June. We do have a meeting on Monday,
Hmm,
You tell me.
not next
I'll be here.
Monday.
Yeah, I'll be there.
You tell me, it doesn't matter.
Wednesday, the 5th at 4:30. Does that work?
Okay.
I'll email Lisa.
Is
and let
that
her
going
know.
to be with select?
I hope so. I'm gonna email Lisa
I
that,
don't think 4:30, the others are available at that point, but it's tough for them to get their.
you want to be later in the day then?
I don't know, well, let's say tentatively, what did you say?
The 5th. Do you still want to be 4:30?
Yeah, plenty of daylight
Yeah.
in
I
June.
mean,
You tell me what time.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll say tentatively on that, but again, I don't know.
What time?
When to determine.
Yeah, I'd just like to add that I have read through all the paperwork so far that's been provided on where boundaries and whatnot are, and there's more confusion than clarification when
Yeah.
one reads through those.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it'd be nice if we could just get a compromise going and have
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
agree to it.
Yeah,
I agree.
If they both would
would be
pull
nice.
in to get a survey together.
Yeah, I mean, if you start
That would be
surveying and you're gonna
wonderful.
open up a can of worms, I think.
Who knows what can of worms.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's true. So I'm gonna say tentatively 4:30, and if
Okay.
you guys want to change the time, just let us know. We have a couple weeks. So,
Yeah, I looked at it on Google Maps. The line goes right through the Drury's patio.
yeah, you
So
can't-
that's not
you
accurate.
really, yeah, you really can't
So you
use
can't
those.
use
Those are
those,
more of
yeah.
like a guide.
Mm. A lot of surveying errors back there.
You know,
The other interesting thing I will add, I don't know how accurate the latitude and longitude numbers are in Google Earth. But if you hover over the marker, and the various markers, what I did as an exercise, I actually looked at the ones, number 120, 121, 122, 123, which are all defined in that, 1800s, 1908, I think it is, agreement on the state boundary, and it has longitude, latitude for each and every one of them. And if you go on Google Earth and hover over those, they are skewed from, when you get down in that corner, are skewed from what the actual numbers are on the agreement. So I don't know what, like I say, to repeat, I don't know what the accuracy is when one goes on Google Earth and puts your hand over a given site, the little hand that you have on there, and you just hover it around a little bit and they don't agree. So that just
Yeah,
adds
so-
another dimension.
right, it'll be a state issue, like Diane said. I mean, we're not gonna solve the,
No,
Boundary
we
line
should stay
issue.
away from it.
Yeah.
right, and I read all your emails. I made me more confused as well, so
Good.
I agree with you. Okay,
What else you got, Chris?
we're gonna move on to old business. Noble Steed subdivision, request for extension of order conditions. And project update.
What was the project update? I'm just trying to remember. Jesse got the enforcement order and he's starting on the stormwater infrastructure. So he's doing work out there.
So things are progressing
Yeah.
in his timeline that was set by,
Yeah. Yeah, not like exactly to the timeline. There are some hiccups, but you know,
Mhm. Well, I mean,
it's to be expected.
right,
But we
Um,
did offer our opinion about the precast structure.
that one, precast structure,
They asked for our opinion.
we did get, I believe that opinion got forwarded.
that one's for the subdivision off of Mort Vining. That was your opinion on that.
That was for Noble Steed.
I thought it was for
Noble
the
Steed.
crossing at Noble Steed.
Yeah.
Kevin suggested it.
Yeah, the
Oh, the what?
precast structure.
So
Instead of pouring it on site.
I think they're gonna come forward with these options because they have to submit an application for the 401 water quality certification. And also they're looking for the extension. We still haven't gotten the extension. So I think they're going to
Wasn't
give us,
Randy asking us though for any kind of opinions on,
that was for the subdivision. I
yeah,
think
that's what we're talking.
the more Vining subdivision.
Oh,
Cause that was being reviewed with the planning board, so they wanted
Hmm.
everyone's opinion on it, and then Randy was like, well, didn't you guys already approve it? And it's like, well, yes. But,
yeah, what else could you tell us?
but the planning board wanted our opinion for, you know, so that's that. But yeah, we should be getting a plan as far as the crossing for Noble Steed in the future, cause they still have yet to have that extension
Right.
done. Either that, they're gonna have to submit
Under
only the stormwater infrastructure within our jurisdiction. They can't do anything else without that 401 water quality.
Okay.
Okay.
We also have back the request for permission to access Sofinowski property after sunset for stargazing purposes.
Yeah, there's a little bit of movement of that. I'm supposed to have gotten a liability, yeah, form for the Ken to sign, and I just reached out to Lisa and I asked her if that was ready, and she said she'll look into it. If not, I could make one up. We'll see about that.
You probably have,
So that, you know, that's, there is some movement on that.
That's graceful. That's graceful. I'll look into it, but if you want to make one up.
Yeah.
That's real,
I can do
that's nice. I'll have to use that.
it. Create Granville Gorge kiosk roof.
And I've been spelling Granville wrong this whole time.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Not
Just
for me to
noticing
say.
it.
Not the magic speller.
No update on that, no movement. Oh, Norm, this one's yours. The next one.
Discussion on docks not completely removed from the lake.
I think we waited for you to come back to talk about this more.
The only one that had no resolution on was the one from, Frank Grillo. Whatever happened with his,
Well, his was not removed at all, but this one is the docks not completely removed, so still docks that
Oh.
are like in the lake.
oh, okay, yeah.
And there's no update on Grillo. He hasn't gotten back to me, nothing.
I think just, time to set the line. Oh, I mean, that's what we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should just do it.
You guys gonna vote on that or?
Well, we'd have to decide from when to when,
Yeah, because now it's a new season.
right? I would not be redoing this dock until something happens. So there's some kind of resolution.
Ice
And
out.
did he just sell his house?
I don't know, did he?
I heard somebody say that he sold his house.
Maybe he's done with us.
Took his beaver lodge and left.
Oh,
Maybe
did
that's why he
somebody
won.
tell me that they're making it again, the beavers? are
Yeah, that's what I
making
heard. I
it?
mentioned. that.
Yeah,
Somebody told me that.
What's that?
The
Beavers are
beavers are
back.
back at it.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. They're busy as
They
beavers.
like the neighborhood. Get lots of pizza crusts.
I don't know why they like it there.
Oh,
I don't know
Much
either.
Better areas on
Yes,
this.
sir.
I like the people.
that's
So you can
right.
take that one off.
Okay, discussion,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Yay, we take one off.
Yeah. Okay, 107 South Loomis Street, possible wetland violation.
Nothing new on that.
Excellent. And then also the same on Sam West Road,
Yeah.
31.
I tried reaching out to Ryan and to the is it Olson
Is
or
that-
Alexak?
Alexa, yeah.
They both didn't get back to me. They're ignoring me right now.
Keep pushing them. It's a busy season, I know.
I'm wondering if I should go out there to see if anything was done.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
supposed
There's
to,
gotta be tons of
he was supposed to
tadpoles.
do it before now,
Yeah.
before
Oh,
it
yeah.
turned green. again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
To get a chance, go out, take some pictures and
like, instead of doing like, look,
ammunition. Yeah.
what's happening here? Okay,
And then other matters, nothing that I'm aware of.
anybody wanna add anything?
Are we gonna come back around to E Rising Corner? It seems like we were,
Sergey?
some stuff was maybe misrepresented, like
Hmm.
Randy Brown's involvement in that.
Oh,
So Randy only had one conversation with the owner of 8 Rising Corner and as far as the culvert under the driveway, that was for the driveway on the Agawam side. On the Southwick side, there's no approved driveway. So Randy contacted him and said that he wasn't too pleased
so that shouldn't
with how
be
he
there.
interpreted their conversation.
Mhm.
Well, hopefully, he was gonna put rock in there. Grassy swale would be nice for the better, but
Mhm.
anything to get the water without taking the silt.
Yeah,
Right.
that was his plan, was to.
Will also keep the water off the road.
Well,
Mhm.
that's, yeah, that's.
Well, I think those driveways are
DPW,
blocking the water.
They
So
are,
it's coming on the road instead of draining where it normally should have
Yeah,
been.
Right, he's changed the direction of travel for the water.
Right.
Oh, yeah. He's been
There
to
was,
it.
an incident on the road when it iced up last year, when a woman had an accident, from what I understand.
Oh,
Mhm.
So it was that.
Mhm.
Yeah, right where the guardrail was, the ice was about that thick, and driving through there, you'd try to stay tight to the guardrail. And you get back
Is
on
that
the
in
road.
Southwick itself?
Yeah, yeah, right down on the
Mhm.
bottom of the
Before you
dip.
get to Agawam.
Yeah, the guardrails there with the stream going under the road. And yeah, it was insane.
I'm
You
sure
hit that little bump and come
Sure,
flying
the
back out.
DPW will be addressing that.
I
then,
think he was
since,
aware of it and he was very concerned that it happened and he wanted to do something about it, you know, in his defense, I think he seemed pretty genuine.
Mhm.
But the owner of the property kind of led us to believe that Randy was like at the forefront of re-engineering the whole thing and laying the rock and digging the ditch.
Right.
Let's do this, let's do that.
Well, he should be telling the guy what to do, because that's, interfering with.
Right.
uh,
But that was Randy's pushback was, I really didn't have anything to do with that, from what I understand.
Mhm.
It might have just been a suggestion or something.
I can't imagine that Randy told him to dig a trench and run the water down the road.
Yeah.
Well, you could have, I mean, it's not a trench, it's a swale, and they did that on the other side going from Southwick,
Hmm.
which is a mess now, that's even just as bad as,
Mhm.
been all dug up, so they need to get out there and do
Right.
it. Who's gonna go to the town meeting tomorrow night?
Aren't you, Dennis?
Chris is gonna be representing us, okay, great.
He's
I even have the papers right here with
He
me.
has CPC duty,
Ah, okay.
I-
Doing both CPC and conservation.
So
Whatever, Dennis.
Rising Corner, is that gonna come back to us? My concern is if we don't get this solved by next winter, we might have some liability for time.
well, as
The
far as
town has, luckily,
conservation
Conservation doesn't.
and on the
I mean, it's not
Southwick side,
Okay.
I don't think that really
Until the
we,
silt gets into our wetlands.
yeah, that's not what we're
That's when
concerned
it's an
about.
issue.
So it's all random.
It's all random.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. Is anybody good with Zoom or can work Zoom? Jean said that she wasn't gonna make it today, and then I almost got stung by a bee, so I almost was sent to the hospital, so that got me thinking, no one is a backup. Would anybody be willing to be a backup in case myself or Jean can't?
I'll be
make it?
glad to be trained, because we've had that problem at LMC.
Right.
too.
Okay,
But you gotta get put on the list, right?
Yeah.
Be able to
Someone will have
have
to
the
train.
Zoom user.
yeah, you'd have
administrative
a, no,
authority.
you would have to probably have a user account.
Yeah,
Do you have a user account?
No, your station has a user ID.
My
This,
station?
this spot right here. So when you plug in,
No, I sign in myself. I have a user account
Yeah.
myself with
they
my
have to be
email.
assigned the
Yeah.
user accounts,
originally when we first did the Zoom thing, I did get a user account, I
because you
believe.
can't, share your screen or do anything
Right.
unless you have a user account.
And they only, and without the user account, like a personal account would only last, you could do a 45-minute meeting. Not enough time.
Doug Mogul took care of all that for us.
Right, that was, Doug brought that all on board. I believe at the time there were only maybe 30 accounts or something like that. But there was another bump up from there, which went right to like 99 accounts. So I think that might be what happened. I'm not sure. I could check in.
So we can get Norm on there to have a backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Boy, Norm, he's staying
Oh,
busy.
just a reminder about the Memorial Day.
Memorial Day Parade, we're all invited. You may,
We got the hats.
You have the hat.
I will not be around, but you are all welcome.
You didn't get your hat yet?
no, where's my hat?
It's
Oh,
in
you
the
wasn't here.
cupboard. It's in the cupboard.
Yeah, nice hats. Okay.
Come on.
Oh, was that horrible?
It was in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the
Oh,
thought.
nice.
Heck, guy, but.
Yeah, I'll read the letter. To whom it may concern, American Legion Post 338, VFW Post 872 would like to invite you to participate in the Memorial Day Parade on 27 May 2024. Parade will gather between 9:15 and 9:30 in the parking lot across the summer house at 535 College Highway, Southwick, Mass. The parade will proceed at 1,000 down the town green at the War Memorial. Following the service, the parade will proceed in vehicles to the old cemetery to lay wreath and continue the new cemetery for a short service. We'd be honored if you and or your group could join us in remembering our country's military servicemen and women who have lost their lives serving our country. At the conclusion of the service, there will be a brief gathering at the American Legion for participants and their families. Please RSVP as soon as possible. Okay.
Monday the 27th.
Correct.
Scheduled to that.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, there's no rain date. Thank you, Sabrina.
Mhm.
You looking for motion?
Yes,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
second.
Wow.
Mhm.
Isn't it?
Aye,
Go around the board, Andy,
Andy, I.
Dennis, I.
Norm, aye.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Jerry, I.
We actually, I know you guys just adjourned, but there was a question on the chat just now. Rick Devine says, Rick Devine here, any updates on my neighbor's dock being moved? It has not been moved yet, and there are rental spaces filled. Did you want to respond to that?
No.
Do you re-adjourn? No?
All right.